Good morning, everyone. You may be seated. Let me be the first to say congratulations. Welcome to Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Knoxville's pinning ceremony. Thank you, family and friends, for joining us. Today, we celebrate our surgical technology and practical nursing students and everything they have accomplished. Through countless hours of studying, clinicals, and hands-on training in the OR and at the bedside, you've shown the commitment it takes to become a skilled, compassionate healthcare professional. Your pin marks that achievement and the trust that comes with it. Surgical techs, you'll be the steady hands and sharp focus behind every successful procedure. Practical nurses, you'll be the compassionate frontline care that patients rely on the most. Different roles, same mission, making a real difference for the people you serve. Carry empathy, integrity, and commitment to lifelong learning into every day of your careers. We are incredibly proud of you, and we know that you will excel. Congratulations. I also want to say thank you to our instructors for preparing this next generation of healthcare professionals, and to the family and friends who supported them along the way. And it's my privilege to next introduce Miss Abby Evans.
The majority of society doesn't know what a surgical technologist is. They know that when they have surgery, there will be a surgeon in the room, and there will also be a nurse, and they're not wrong. But what they may not realize is that there's also a surgical specialist in that room. This is a person who has devoted their life to being an advocate for a patient during one of the most vulnerable moments in that patient's life. A patient who quite literally and figuratively cannot speak for themselves throughout the surgical procedure. Being a surgical technologist can be a thankless job whenever it's compared to some of the more well-known allied health professions. A nurse in a hospital room or a doctor's office often receives a thank you from their patients. A physician may receive words of gratitude and appreciation. But a surgical technologist often has to learn how to stand tall, look at the work that they have done, and pat themselves on their own backs and know that they did a good job. And that's okay, because the reward isn't always about the recognition. Now I want to take a moment and I want to describe what it might be like to be a student in a surgical technology program. The surgical technology program at TCAT has been around for more than half a century. It is an accelerated program where students give their hearts, their minds, and their souls. They sacrifice not only their free time, but time with their family and friends for 12 months. 12 months may not sound like a long period of time, but within those 12 months, students can feel like they have lived multiple lifetimes. For some students, graduating from an accelerated allied health program can feel like surviving a hurricane while riding a roller coaster that's on fire. There will be sleepless nights. There are moments of frustration and even self-doubt. There are worries that are so extensive that you can't tell if you're having a panic attack or you simply need to take a very long nap. And yet, you all kept going. You studied whenever you were exhausted. You showed up whenever you were overwhelmed. You walked into clinicals knowing that there was going to be challenges. You made mistakes, but you learned from them. And then you came back the next day and you tried it again. And all of that being said, I want to recognize that the graduates sitting before you today were told this from the very beginning. On their first day in the classroom, they were told that this would be difficult. They were told that they would have to sacrifice. They were told that there would be days when they questioned whether they could even do it. And they did it anyways. They walked through the fire knowing that on the other side they may not be met with applause or praise, that they might not always receive a thank you, that their patients may not even know their own names. But I think that that has to say something very incredibly important about the people sitting before us today. It says something about their character. It says that they chose a profession not because it guarantees recognition, but because they understand the importance of what that they do. They chose to be the patient's advocate when that patient can't advocate for themselves. They chose this knowing that whenever they're standing in an operating room and a patient is asleep on the table, that patient may not even know that there was a surgical technologist there. Their patient may never know the countless hours of studying, the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, or the moments of doubt that brought that surgical technologist to that room. But that patient will be safer because they are there. And that, in my opinion, says something worth being proud of. So to the graduating class, stand tall, pat yourselves on the back, remember the people who helped get you here, but also remember that you are the ones who walked through that fire. You earned this. You are no longer students. You are the surgical technologist. And there is a patient out there who is going to need you because they're advocate, to be their advocate when they can't advocate for themselves. So going into the profession, knowing you need to know your worth, know what your responsibility, and know that when nobody says thank you, it's okay because what you do actually matters. So congratulations, surgical technologists. Now we will present the candidates. Surgical technologist graduates, please rise. Eliana Brown. Rachel Connor. Good job. Jocelyn Daniels. Good job, Rachel. Ella Doherty. Savannah Groth. Good job, Ella. Daisha Jones. Kylie Patterson. Alexa Rodriguez. Catherine Philippone. Good job. Next, we will have the recitation of the Code of Ethics by Miss Emily Fletcher.
The Code of Ethics of the Association of Surgical Technologists serves as a guiding framework for professional conduct, accountability, integrity, and patient advocacy. It defines who we are as professionals and the standards to which we hold ourselves. Surgical technology graduates, please rise. As I read each principle from the AST Code of Ethics, please repeat after me. To maintain the highest standards of professional conduct and patient care, to hold in confidence with respect to the patient's beliefs, all personal matters, to respect and protect the patient's legal and moral rights to quality patient care, to not knowingly cause injury or any injustice to those entrusted to our care, to work with fellow technologists and other professional health groups, to promote harmony and unity for better patient care, to always follow the principles of asepsis, to maintain a high degree of efficiency through continuing education, to maintain and practice surgical technology willingly, with pride and dignity, to report any unethical conduct or practice to the proper authority, adhere to this code of ethics at all times in relationship to all members of the healthcare team, congratulations to the surgical technology class of 2026. You may now be seated. I am now pleased to welcome our Director of Nursing and Allied Health, Dr. Jake Terry.
Well, congratulations, everyone. Surg Tech students, I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here today, and I'm so proud of all of you. Now to my nursing students, what can I say? It's been a very long road, and I'm so glad that you are entering our honored profession. I'm so glad to see you here today, even though there were days you didn't think you were going to make it, correct? Yes, okay. So all of that, we told you to listen to us, to trust us, that we would get you here. You're here, okay? So congratulations. To all your family and friends that have supported you, just always remember you could not have done it without them, okay? So it is my pleasure now to introduce our keynote speaker, who is the Director of Nursing of NHC Fort Sanders, Mr. Kevin Fincher.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today. It's really an honor to be here. Big day for you guys, right? Yeah. So today you're receiving your nursing pin. It's this pretty small thing, but when you look at it, it represents a whole lot. It represents studying when you were exhausted, clinicals when you were nervous, skills you practiced over and over again, tests that you were worried about, and probably some moments when you wondered, why in the world did I ever decide to go to nursing school? Is that right for most of you? Yeah. But you made it. And somewhere during all that time, you stopped studying nursing and you started becoming nurses. And I watched that from some of you in my own center. So I've been a nurse for about 30 years, so In human life, that's about 300 years, and you'll figure that out someday. And looking at all you this morning, it makes me think about the nurse I was when I first started. Nursing has changed tremendously since then. The technology's different. Our patients are definitely sicker. Documentation is certainly different. And everything seems to move a little bit faster. But after 30 years, I have realized one thing. The most important part of nursing really hasn't changed at all. There's a human in front of you that needs your help. Sometimes they're going to need your clinical knowledge. Sometimes they'll need your hands. Sometimes they'll need you to speak up for them. And sometimes they just need somebody to sit down for a minute and let them know that they're not alone. Now, I'd like to prepare you for some things you're going to be facing very, very soon. You're going to have days when you feel that nursing school was the easy part, believe it or not. So picture it. You're the new nurse on the unit. The phone's ringing. Somebody down the hallway needs pain medicine. Somebody else needs to go to the bathroom. A family member is eyeing you down the hallway because she wants to talk to you. You have a doctor calling you back on the phone. And guess what? Your new admission is rolling down the hallway right now. And somewhere in the middle of all that, a person very much like me is probably going to come out and remind you you've not finished your charting yet. And in all that, you're going to think, they did not prepare me for all this. Well, guess what? They couldn't have. Your instructors have given you an excellent foundation. But practicing the art of nursing is going to teach you the rest. And occasionally, it's going to teach you the hard way. You're going to have shifts that's going to humble you. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to drive home some nights and you're going to replay the entire shift in your head, wondering if you could have done something differently. We've all done it, and that's just part of being a nurse. After 3 decades in this profession, I can't remember every shift I've worked. I can't remember every patient I've taken care of, every medication I've given. But what I do remember, I remember faces, I remember families, and I remember moments. I remember times when simply being there for another person is all that mattered. And some of the most important things I've ever done as a nurse probably never appeared in a patient's chart. 30 years from now, you probably won't remember every shift you've worked. But I promise you, there will be patients who remember you for the rest of your lives, their lives. They may not remember what medication you gave them, but they'll remember the nurse who pulled up a chair when they were scared. They'll remember the nurse who explained something again because they didn't understand it the first time. They'll remember the nurse who preserved their dignity when they couldn't care for themselves. They'll remember the nurse who realized something wasn't right and wouldn't stop until somebody listened. And they'll remember the nurse who held their hand when their family couldn't be there. I want you to be that nurse. Be the nurse who notices. Be the nurse who asks one more question. Be the nurse who realizes that sometimes the difficult family member is simply a scared family member. Treat the patient struggling with addiction with the same dignity you give the patient recovering from surgery. Treat the homeless patient, the prisoner, the wealthy patient, the confused elderly patient, all of them with the same compassion, because your character as a nurse can't depend on who's lying in that bed. Does that make sense? It does, right? Okay. And if I give you one piece of advice after 30 years, I want to tell you, never become too experienced to be kind. Things that seem extraordinary to you right now will eventually become ordinary. Your first code may scare you to death. Eventually, you'll walk into one calmly and know exactly what to do. Your first patient death may stay with you for days. Someday, you may have experienced hundreds. And experience is a wonderful thing for a nurse. It allows us to remain calm when everyone else is falling apart. But don't forget, what has become a routine for you may be the worst day of a patient's life. You may have heard that diagnosis 100 times. They've heard it once. You may have been present for many deaths. That family is losing their mother for the first and only time. Don't ever get so experienced that you forget the difference. And while I'm giving you advice, old nurses like to do that, so get used to it. Take care of each other. Nursing is hard enough without nurses making it harder for other nurses. Someday, sooner than you guys think, a brand new nurse is going to come to you, scared to death, and ask you a question. So remember that today. Teach them, help them, correct them when you need to, but don't humiliate them. And until then, when you're the new nurse and you don't know something, simply ask. There is no prize for pretending you know everything. If you aren't sure about a medication, stop. If something doesn't look right, ask another nurse. If something in your gut tells you that something with your patient isn't right, even if you can't quite explain it, speak up. The words, "I don't know, can you help me?" those may be the safest words you'll ever say as a nurse. And one last thing, take care of yourselves. Nursing will take everything you're willing to give it. There's always going to be another shift, another staffing problem, another patient, another person who needs you. So give nursing your skill. Give it your compassion. Give it your integrity. But don't give it every piece of yourself. Go home. Love your people. Take your vacation. Celebrate birthdays. Laugh. Build a life outside of nursing. Because you cannot spend your entire career taking care of everybody else and forget that you have a life to take care of as well. So today, when that pen is placed on your chest, I hope you take just a second to think about what it really means. You're joining generations of nurses who came before you. Our uniforms have changed, the equipment's changed, the medications and technology have definitely changed. But the fundamental promise of nursing hasn't. When another human being is frightened, vulnerable, hurting, or unable to care for themselves, we show up. Every nurse in the room say that with me. We show up. And now it's your turn. Become clinically excellent. Never stop learning. Ask questions. Pay attention. Speak up. Protect your patients. Take care of each other. And while you're becoming an excellent nurse, don't ever forget to remain an excellent human being. Because the greatest nurses I've known weren't necessarily the ones that knew everything. They were the nurses you wanted beside you when something went wrong. They were calm, they were competent, they were compassionate. And when they walked into the room, somehow everybody felt a little bit safer. And that's what I wish for you, that someday another nurse will look across the room during a crisis, see you walk in, and say, "Good, they're here." And someday, a former patient will be telling somebody about the hardest time in their life. And they're going to say, "You know, I had this nurse." And they're going to be talking about you. So congratulations. Wear your pin proudly. Take care of your patients. Take care of each other. And take care of yourselves. Wherever nursing takes you, be the nurse you would want standing beside the bed of someone you love. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, I hope that motivated you. It was an excellent speech, and everything is so true what he said. So please remember, where you got this education come from these great people sitting here behind me. They prepared you for this. You're ready. You got it. Now it is my honor to introduce the day class representative, Miss Jordan Ray.
Hey, everybody. First thing I want to do is thank the instructors for believing that we could get to this point and for challenging us to do so. Thank you to our friends, our families, and our mentors who carried us through this past year. If it weren't for my village, I would not be standing here right now, and I definitely would not have been able to serve my class as representative. Thank you all so much. Now, to everybody being pinned, we made it, y'all. 352 days ago, yes, I counted, we walked into school with little more than our computers and a prayer that somehow we'd become nurses. Since that day, the world didn't stop just because classes started. We all carried more than backpacks on our shoulders. Most of us worked long hours immediately before or after class. Many of us are parents who spent last year making sure our kids were happy, safe, fed, bathed, in bed, on time, just to come around and clock in for clinical at 6:30 in the morning. There were car troubles, illness, loss. While we were learning to save lives, life kept happening to us. We were tired, we were stressed. At times we were doubting ourselves, and there may have been some people doubting us too. Those select all that apply questions kicked our butts. And if I had $1 for every time I heard the words professionalism and document or it didn't happen, I could probably pay for my NCLEX. Nursing school was hard, but for 352 days, we kept studying, we kept learning, we kept encouraging each other, we kept pushing forward. After nearly a year of nonstop notifications from the class chats, while we were group studying or trying to figure out where clinical would be the next morning, my husband started joking that the TCAT students had become my second family. He was more right than I gave him credit for, because when I look around today, I am so proud of y'all. When I look around this room, I don't just see LPN students. I see incredible practical nurses. I see registered nurses. I see CRNAs, nurse practitioners, educators, leaders. I see the nurses who will hold the hand of a hospice patient in his last moments. Thank you, Ms. Gill. I see the nurses whose attention to detail will save lives. I see the nurses who I want to care for my loved ones. I see nothing but possibility ahead of all of us. So, for anyone who may have wondered what would have happened if we didn't make it, I guess we'll never know. Because today, we receive our pins. Tomorrow, we graduate. Soon, we will pass that NCLEX. And after that, we keep growing, we keep learning, we keep serving. Graduation is not the finish line. It's a new beginning. I can't wait to see where we all are in the next 352 days. Congratulations, class of 2026. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Ray. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the evening class representative, Miss Isabella Shipley.
Good afternoon. When I first think about our nursing school journey, the first word that comes to mind is hard. But if I had to choose another word, it would be worthwhile. Getting to this moment was not easy. Nursing school challenged us in ways that went far beyond exams, clinicals, care plans, and endless hours of studying. It challenged us mentally, emotionally, physically, and sometimes even financially. There were days when we questioned ourselves, days when we wondered if we were capable of finishing, and days when simply making it through the day felt like an accomplishment. As for many of us, nursing school was not the only responsibility that we carried. We were also parents, we were partners, daughters, sons, employees, friends, and caregivers. There were nights when we studied after everyone else went to bed. There were mornings when we had to get ourselves and our families ready before heading to class. There were moments when we were exhausted, overwhelmed, and running on very little sleep, but we kept going. Sometimes we had to choose between being the student we wanted to be and being the parent or person our families needed us to be, and somehow we learned to do both. I think one of the most important things this program taught us is that strength doesn't always look like having everything together. Sometimes strength is showing up when you're exhausted. Sometimes it's studying when you're discouraged. Sometimes it's walking into an exam terrified that you didn't do enough and finding out that you knew more than you thought you did. And sometimes strength is simply saying, I don't know if I can do this, and then doing it anyway. But there is something else that made this journey special. We did not do it alone. We leaned on each other. There were classmates who answered questions when we were confused, shared notes when someone missed class, reminded us about assignments, talked us through difficult exams, and encouraged us when we were ready to give up. There were texts asking, did you study, or what did you get for number 20? There were conversations before exams where we were all nervous together, and conversations afterwards where we tried to convince each other that maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought. We celebrated each other's victories and carried each other through the hard days, and I think that's something we should all be incredibly proud of. We entered this program as individuals, but along the way we became a support system for one another. We understood each other's struggles because we were living them too. We knew what it was like to walk into clinical exhausted. We knew what it felt like to fail a test, to doubt ourselves, to feel overwhelmed, and to wonder how we were going to keep going. And because we understood, we encouraged each other instead of allowing one another to stay down. There were probably moments when one of us was stronger while another was struggling, and then on another days the roles were reversed. That's what made our support so important. We didn't all have to be strong at the same time. We just had to make sure that nobody felt like they were standing alone. Today, when we look back, I hope we don't only remember the difficult exams, the long clinical days, the assignments, or the stress. I hope we remember how far we've come. I hope we remember the sacrifices our families made alongside us, the missed events, the late nights, the tears, the moments of self-doubt, the times we wanted to quit but chose to keep going. And most importantly, I hope we remember that we didn't quit. We kept showing up, we kept learning, we kept supporting each other. And eventually, all those little moments of perseverance brought us here. Today, we are not just completing a nursing program, we are stepping into a profession that requires compassion, resilience, patience, courage, strength, qualities that we have already spent this past year developing. We know what it feels like to be overwhelmed, and because of that, we will understand our patience. We know what it feels like to need someone to believe in us, and because of that, we will know how important it is to believe in someone else. We know what it means to keep going when life is difficult, and because of that, we will bring resilience into every room that we enter. So to my classmates, we made it through exhaustion, through tears, through the exams, through clinicals, through parenthood, work, family, and all the everyday responsibilities that never stopped. We made it because we were determined, because our families believed in us, and because we believed in each other. One day we will look back on this chapter and realize this was not just a year spent in nursing school. This was a year that changed us. It made us stronger, it taught us compassion and perseverance, and gave us friendships and memories that we will carry with us long after we leave this classroom. So as we move forward into this next chapter, I hope we never forget where we started, what we overcame, or the people who helped us get here. We should be proud, not because the journey was easy, but because it wasn't. And today we can finally say we did it. Thank you.
Now presenting the day program. Abigail and Coma. Brianna Spears. Lanisha Blair. Julia Brown. Anaya Kokolo. Patrick Crandall. Jackson Timothy Crisp. Cheyenne Marie Dodson. Grace Doler. Genesis Gann. Margaret Githingo. Alicia Gomez. Amira Hamid. Savannah Howard. Takoy Johnson. Anna Kamal. Shelley Keene. Amari Kinenbrew. Anne Kihu. Jennifer Kinothia. Chase Mayton. Brooke Murphy. Mumbi Bawangi. Hadija Saif. Simon Doringo. Trinity Mae Pickering. Christian Pickle. Trinity Pupo. Jordan Nicole Ray. Rahab Rugu. Sequoia Sanders. Sierra Tate. Maureen Wanjuno. Elisha Williams. Amanda Gail Wilson. Now presenting the evening program. Mackenzie Adams. Victoria Angel. Kiaya Bishop. Layla Marie Bates. Xaviana Boatwright. Lakeland Branner. Ashley Coley. Lily Diane Davis. Andrea Duron. Shantae Farmer. Deja Flournoy West. Lindsay Christine. James Green. Rosa Victoria Hernandez Jimenez. Trevor Hinch. Jordan Jabarta. Marjorie LaFew. Faith McCormick. Felicia Messer. Samantha Mitchell. Latrina Mobley. Layla Nunley. Marquise Patterson. Tanya Potter. Piasha Rogers. Courtney Romine. Noverly Scott. Key Thompson. Isabella Shipley. Quanaisha Vinson. Kelly Megan Wallace. Let's give a round of applause to our graduating class.
All right, now we will have the Nightingale Pledge as well as the lighting of the lamp. The lighting of the lamp is symbolism coming from Florence Nightingale herself, where we are passing on the flame of knowledge to our new students. So if the practical nursing students will please rise. All right, and if you will repeat after me, in the presence of God and those assembled here. I solemnly pledge myself. To practice my profession faithfully. I will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power. To maintain and elevate. The standards of my profession. And I will hold in my keeping. All of personal matters. Committed to me. And all family affairs. Coming to my knowledge. In the practice of my calling. With loyalty. I will endeavor. To aid the physicians. In their work. And devote myself. To the welfare. Of those committed to my care. I'd like to welcome Dr. Kelly Cheney.
It's me again. Okay. I want to introduce our President Dr. Cheney.
Well, here we go again. I'm behind a really tall podium, and even my heels are not going to help me out today. So I cannot see the front row, so I'm going to scoot over just a little, if y'all bear with me. I've learned a lot sitting back here today, watching our students and their families and friends out in the audience. Something that I realized, I was not seeing double. I was actually seeing twins occasionally. You kept that secret very well, ladies, very well. So one is in day program and one is in night program. And it's no wonder I thought, what is going on here? So I'm happy to know that we have twins and that I'm not losing my mind walking in the hallway, all right? So really, I want to take this time to talk about, wow, the people in the audience who are with us today that support our graduates, whether it be our surgical technologists or our practical nurses. Higher education is a family affair. It takes a village to do the things that we do and to support our students the way you do at home, at work, at play, and the times that you give up family time so that our students can study or make sure they make that really good grade or help them while they're stressing about a future exam. or maybe they just need to vent because today was a very stressful day in clinicals. Or the one thing I hear a lot from students is checkoffs are a beast. Is that correct? Because they tell me, and ladies, I hear it in the restroom. Guys, I see you in the hallway. We talk about it. We did talk about it, right? We did. So, to parents and family and friends, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting our students. So I know there are lots of people out there who love our students. But if you are a parent of one of our students, please stand. Parents, where are you? Thank you. How about grandparents of our students? Any grandparents in the room? Nice. Do we have great-grandparents in the room? I know, oh, we do. All right. I know I heard a shout out by someone saying godparent. Is there a godparent or parents in the room? Anybody? I heard you. I know you're out there. Don't be shy. Okay. How about spouses or significant others of our students? Yeah. Nice. There are some teeny tiny babies out there that while they can't stand, I want to make sure that everybody knows. There's one, a nice little toddler over there. I want to make, yes, and another one. And another one. Okay, this is like popcorn now. This is great. So when I say education, and higher education in particular, is a family affair, it is so wonderful that you bring these youngsters to our pinning ceremony. We love having them. We acknowledge that students, what you're doing today will influence the trajectory of your family's lives in generations to come. I applaud you for taking the huge step of becoming practical nurses. And to our surgical technologist over there, you are a small group, but you are a mighty group. Can you imagine an OR without a surgical technologist? Never. It would never happen. So what is going on here today is monumental for our students and their families. I hope that I get the privilege of seeing you again tomorrow as we celebrate with the graduation ceremony. Students, you are the reason that we do what we do. And when we say student success and workforce development, it's what we do. We mean it. Congratulations to the class of 2026, both of surgical technologists and practical nurses. We are incredibly proud to call you TCAT family, and we are incredibly proud to soon call you TCAT alumni. Congratulations again.